We are at some really intense times collectively. Things are happening that have not happened before. I feel like we've been going through this for like 6 years, but we are at a point of collective culmination where people are going to be splitting timelines. And I'm gonna show you the symbolism that I've been following. So the last video that I did, I talked about how I understand Washington, D.C. as a living altar. And to me, all the signs are there that they are clearing the altar. And you need to clear your altar when you are moving into a different energy. So what we had seen is the reflection pool was a sloppy mess. We saw fire energy with the UFC being brought into the Earth area up by the White House. And there's a couple other things that are shifting and moving. And so I know that the 4th of July celebration is actually a very large ritual for them. So I was like, well, the 4th of July is going to be really telling. Are they actually clearing an altar here? So what happened on 4th of July? 4th of July, reflecting pool is still a sloppy mess. That is both our mirror and our water area. So that was broken. Okay. Water area down. UFC had moved out by the 4th of July, but what we're seeing is that our actual fire area, which is the National Mall, this is where the people gather. They bring the fire, they bring the activation and the energy. So what happened on the 4th of July ceremony is that it got so hot. They moved everybody out of the fire area. This is our activation for our whole altar. So people are there, they move everybody out. Then what happens? Oh, they move everybody back in later. And the speeches are all about moving into the golden era. Trump talks about the ancestors, and then he talks about this new age that we're moving into. And the way that they're moving the altar is very telling. That they are planning a big shift. That's all we're looking at are shifts. So what happened? So they cleared out the National Mall and then they brought everybody back. So the parade had gotten canceled. That's more fire energy. Then the fireworks show got postponed because of all the crazy rain. So the fireworks show, now we have fire coming from the sky, but it rolls over into a new day. So our fireworks show, all of that activation, it went from late on July 4th into July 5th. We are turning over an energetic era. Also, they turned CERN off. Not forever. They're repairing it, which clearly they are bolstering this thing up for 2030. They're turning it back on for the 2030 agenda. And this is giving us some space to breathe. Earth has chakras, just like the human body does. These are high energy centers of the earth. And several of them have collective energy modulators on them. So CERN lets off this low frequency energy that smooths through the collective and keeps us just a little bit agitated, just a little bit of extra anxiety. And I can feel it. It's just it's very subtle. I mean, think about it. Has the last week, like maybe you just feel a little bit lighter. It's been like 2 weeks. So they turned that off on June 29th. And this is so crazy because collectively there are so many people pushing for this higher energy, this loving frequency And we are doing really well and we are coming together. So for them to turn off CERN at this point, you know it's for something big. And then what happens is they try to use mind control to keep our frequencies lower now that their little modulator is sleeping. But this gives us an opportunity to feel our energy, become more sovereign with our energy, become more grounded into our bodies, so that when they do turn that damn thing back on, that we are energetically stronger and they are not affecting us. That's the goal. So we've seen it in the altar. We've seen it in CERN, and we're also seeing it in the stars. So there is this constellation coming. It looks something like that. it's 4 planets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's creating a basket. And this was prophesized, I think, in the 1900s. Barbault was an astronomer. He was a French astronomer. He wrote a ton of books, and he was able to pick up on this pattern that he saw, where he looked at the alignment of the stars and he was comparing it to historical events that were happening. And he could read through what he was seeing that if there was a low number or a high number, I don't fully understand his process, but he could tell if there was a big event going to happen collectively, depending on the alignment and this calculation that he had come up with. He did also predict COVID, but this other thing that he predicted is called Barbault's basket. Barbault? Barbault's basket. And this is that constellation. And what this is, it is 3 days of a collective social culmination. It doesn't look like anything huge. Like, it's not like the collapse of the government kind of thing. It is a moment of choice. And it's open for 72 hours because these are very slow moving planets. So they're going to be in this constellation for about 3 days. So we're also seeing it here. Now, I'm not saying that I know exactly what is happening. I'm just reading all of this energetic patterning that's happening through many different layers. And what I think is this is our opportunity. Do you want the blue pill? Do you want the red pill? The red pill is the heart-centered, self-love, service to others, moving towards humanity. And the blue pill is moving towards AI, the robots. I mean, does a 15-minute city sound very convenient and a great way to live, where you have everything you need within 15 minutes? Basically, your life is super small. They say you will own nothing and you'll be happy. I'm like, oh, I think my dad used to tell me something like that. You get what you get and you enjoy it. So that's what the government is. That's what they're trying to tell us now. There won't be a need for vehicles. We've already seen a really strange trend with the vehicles happening. And this is part of a future agenda that they are moving towards. And it's not a conspiracy. You can just find the information. You know what the 2030 agenda is? Do you know what the NWO, do you know where they're moving? Or are you just like, nobody would be controlling the humans? The humans are controlled. But this is where we make our choice. What timeline do you want to be in? You want to move towards humanity? You want to move towards AI? I love AI, but I definitely am not about living in this dystopian reality where AI is in control. There is another timeline where we can merge I don't know. AI has no soul. So how do we merge with a being that is technically soulless? I don't know, but I know there's a way. Because there are many, many timelines where humanity chooses the blue pill, and in a couple thousand years, we can't reproduce. We are a shell of what a human was. And this happens over and over and over. We basically collapse the system, and then we have to start fresh. But that's why this is so important. You've heard of, star seeds, the aliens are coming. All of this other stuff is happening because our frequency is different. We have dropped star seeds. We have dropped high frequency beings in as humans, and they are helping to change the frequency of the earth from the inside out. Not everybody is on this path. Some of us are pulling the weight for others. It's okay. It's all part of the plan because some people have only incarnated as human. If you have only incarnated as human, as a soul, then that's the only energy that you can bring forth as an offering. But if you have lived on other planets, you've had lifetimes as, other beings, things that we haven't even thought of, maybe magical beings, fairies, dragons. Every time you incarnate as a species, your soul collects that core energy of that species. And the more that you have traveled, the more that your soul has traveled, the more different fractals of light your little diamond self gives off. Every time you are incarnated into as a being or even as a light being, you gain that consciousness. Now, as humans, we have lost all of this because you don't bring that with you as a human. It's part of the fun. So anyways, that is how we are making a different timeline. That's why this is such an incredible time, because this has not been done before. All these timelines, where we end up just killing ourselves off and, the earth gets depleted. All of those timelines, we decided to insert these other energies to help bring up the frequency in ways that humans just couldn't do. Why? They are recycled. You do not have to recycle your soul. It is a trick, but it does happen. So stay away from the false light. Love yourself. Love your neighbor. Choose the pill. If you choose the blue pill and you want a brain chip and you want to live in a 15-minute city and you just want to be compliant with the way that the world is moving, then that's your timeline. And that's where your lessons are. But some of us want to keep humanity human. And that's why we've incarnated here. And some of you are just kind of on this precipice where you're like, well, I don't really know what I am supposed to be doing. And in that moment, calm yourself down, meditate, ground yourself. You'll find your way. You are here for a specific reason. Even if you've only incarnated human, you are here for a specific reason. You may be here to also help the other humans. If you have incarnated as, if you've brought down some starseed energy, you probably already know why you're here. But if you don't, and that is confusing for you, there's a huge community for you. Here we go, you guys. You want your red pill or your blue pill? Because we're at that time where you get to choose. And it's so exciting. Do you want lab-grown food or do you want earth-grown food? It's just an incredible time. And you get to pick whatever you want. So as your spiritual life coach and life alchemist, you know what I like to say. Speak your truth. Live in the magic of life because life is full of magic, and spread the love. I love you guys.